All right, for more insights and why this visit is significant, we are joined by Ambassador Pinak Ranjan Chakravarti, former Secretary MEA. Welcome, sir. Appreciate you giving us your precious time. First of all, how crucial is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Maldives visit? Why it matters, and does it hold a deeper significance as it coincides with the 60th anniversary of Maldivian independence?
Well, certainly it does, because Prime Minister is the chief guest for their celebrations. Like we have a chief guest for our Republic Day parade. This is somewhat similar to that, although theirs is the Independence Day. Maldives is a very important player in the Indian Ocean region, apart from being a maritime neighbor, and the archipelago to which Maldives belong is shared by India in the sense that Lakshadweep Islands, which are part of India, are part of the same, geographically, part of the same archipelago to which Maldives belong. Moreover, Maldives sits in a very crucial maritime zone, which sees the sea lines of communication passing through it. Over 60% of world's trade goes through it. So there are so many aspects to the relationship that it's very important for us, and for our neighborhood policy as well. And and Prime Minister's visit is certainly a signal that these ties are going to be further strengthened after the somewhat difficult, political situation that Maldives faced. But that was more internal politics.
Right.
So India and Maldives have somehow got over that phase and are now again back to normal.
Ambassador, talking about the timing also, what does PM Modi's visit to Maldives signal at this juncture? And like you said, how crucial is Maldives in India's Indo-Pacific calculus now?
Well, as I said, Maldives is a very geographically very important player. Not player, but at least it has a geographical importance in the Indian Ocean region. And we have historical ties with Maldives. It's nothing new. We have relationship that goes back over time and history, and we also have established very strong credentials for being a development partner, and for coming to the aid of Maldives during disasters, helping them when there was no water in Maldives, or if there was a military issue, then also we came to the help of Maldives. So there is a long history of India, helping Maldives in many ways, and Maldives is also dependent. It's an interdependence basically, and Maldives, Indian tourists flock to the Maldives and contribute a lot to their economy. Maldives is basically based on their economy is based on tourism, and Indian tourists contribute a lot. So I think these are the connectivities that have tied us to each other, and I think this the realization that this is a very important relationship has obviously dawned on the Maldivian, the political leadership at the moment, which had, by the way, campaigned on a very negative platform of India out at one time. But then you cannot, politics is different, as I said, and it was a way of, using some negative factors to win an election. It happens in our neighborhood quite often, actually. Politics India becomes a factor in India's politics, in domestic politics in our neighborhood.
Right, and PM's engagements also will start in a while, around 3 p.m. Indian Standard Time. We'll get you the updates on that. But Ambassador, what concrete outcomes should we expect in defense cooperation, development, diplomacy, and also in infrastructure?
Well, I think you can expect the whole range in almost all sectors. India has been contributing to infrastructure development. Maldives needs a lot of connectivity between its, for example, the the different islands. For example, it needs airports in different islands, and we are building them. We have built housing, we have built schools. Indian development aid has helped in building all this infrastructure, and I think this will continue because India is interested in making sure that the people of Maldives get the facilities. Defense is an area because India has our relationship has a security dimension, and there is, in fact, let's face it, the reality competition with China as well, because China is also looking for footholds in the Indian Ocean region because of this, because it wants to extend its influence. It is becoming a more global player, and a lot of Chinese trade also comes through this the sea lines of communication. So China is interested in having. I suppose they would like to have a base in kind of a military base in the Maldives, but they haven't yet succeeded because that would mean for the Maldives, a direct threat to India from Maldives, and that I think that red line Maldives has not yet crossed. But in terms of development and other factors, China is a player there as well.
Ambassador, you mentioned Maldives very important for India strategically. Why is it important, if you could explain it to our viewers, politically, economically, and also from a security standpoint?
Well, number one, it's in our neighborhood. That is the important point. India wants to develop relations with all neighbors. Sometimes there are ups and downs, as we have seen over a certain time in history. But that is our goal, and that is what we pursue all the time. How to develop relations with our neighbors. That's number one. Number two would be the geographical position of Maldives. As I said, it occupies a very crucial position and overlooks the sea lines of communication. This is a very important channel for trade and hence needs to be protected. Plus, we also have defense relationship with the Maldives. Their military people are trained in India. We also provided them with some Coast Guard and other ships that help them, and also aircraft that goes from which is used for emergency to, let's say, airlift patients from different islands. As I said, there are so many islands on which people live, and they don't have access, land access. They only have to come by boat, which takes a long time. So the helicopter services that India has provided helps them a lot. And so these are the kind of, these are some of the things. There are very many other things, as I've mentioned, housing, bridges, and schools, etc., that we have built. And then, of course, tourism. Then there people come to India for medical treatment, which is, sophisticated medical treatment, which is not available in the Maldives. So these are the range of things that we provide, and this is done with the people of a country in mind. Governments change and politics changes, but the people-to-people relationship we have maintained in as far as we can.
All right, just very briefly, Ambassador, before we leave you, how important is people-to-people contact, cultural exchange, and also, like you mentioned, tourism in strengthening the bilateral relationship between India and Maldives?
Well, tourism is a very important factor. I don't have the numbers, but a lot of tourists visit Maldives, and this contributes a huge amount of money to the center, to the exchequer there. And so that is a very important part. And that's part of the people-to-people relationship. And there are other aspects that I've mentioned. There are business-to-business relationships. Then there are, the medical tourism that India provides to Maldivian patients who come for medical treatment. And there's people, Maldivian study in India. in colleges and universities, and then there is military relationship. So there's a whole range of relationships across the board. One can't say that this is important or that is important. All are important in my view, and that is the template we have.
Absolutely. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Maldives for 2-day state visit and to hold key talks with President Muizzu. We'll leave it at that. Thank you, Ambassador, for your insights.
Thank you.